so treasury, their work is to, make sure that all our money is in our account. Money that needs to go out is going out. Then that's when we now start talking about things like
managing liquidity.
Yeah, thank you. That's even the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Investing excess cash. Making sure that we don't just have money sitting down anywhere.
around.
Planning. Because
Exactly.
you always have to plan. There are some obligations that money has to be in the account for.
Stocking your inventory, for example.
Thank you.
You need
Salaries.
Exactly.
If your company doesn't pay you salary, you know how you start getting.
Exactly.
If some people, if they don't see alert by 12 noon of the whatever
Yes.
salary date is, they're already shaking and panicking.
What's
That was
happening? Finance.
Thank you.
Finance.
Finance.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
again, like I said, when you think of it in a small scale, it seems straightforward, but think of it in as the company grows and different. You are interacting with different banking partners. Banks can they can make you pull out your hair sometimes. So
Yes.
somebody literally needs to be dedicated to do that.
Yes.
So that's treasury. Now all these guys are doing their work, but there's still the need for the actual financial reporting. So, like I said, in smaller companies where, one person is doing everything, this person that is making payments, there's also posting those payments on the accounting software. There's also probably talking to the banks when they need to do all these transfers and all of that. But like I said, as the company goes bigger, it now becomes one person's job. Okay, it's one person's job now to make sure that all the transactions are posted, or multiple people. Okay, you are in charge of this bank, I am in charge of this bank, or you are in charge of this type of transactions, I am in charge of this type of transactions. You are in charge of this department's transaction, I am in charge of this department's transaction. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's where in terms of because I think role names may not be so straightforward. Okay, you just hear, somebody says I'm an accountant, somebody says I'm a finance analyst, somebody says I'm a finance associate. So at the end of the day, is what the person is actually doing nitty-gritty. Some people might even just say, okay, accounts payable officer, accounts receivable officer, treasury. In bigger companies, it's even easier to just assign those roles. But in smaller companies, the person will just take on more generalist role. I'm a finance associate or a finance officer. It means, I'm doing all these. Yes. So there's the making sure that, okay, as we've made all these payments, all these transactions have happened in different forms. And, as all these transactions are happening, different things are also let's take, for example, you buy a laptop. A laptop is a fixed asset.
Yes.
It's not just as straightforward as going to record it as an expense. There's where we need to recognize it as an asset. We need to start depreciating it. We need to make sure that, if anything happens to it, it gets lost, or, we need to write it off from the books. Or when it reaches its useful life, we need to remove it from. So there's, like I said,
getting insurance on it, asset tagging.
Thank you.
Managing fixed asset register, asset counting, and all of that stuff, asset verification.
Yeah, so it's, like I said, I feel like everything, the beginning and the, everything just starts from, the company did all these transactions. They made payments for inventory. They made payments for all this. But then it now just trickles down into different things that need to be done. Okay, we made payments for salary. It means we need to pay payee. We need to pay, NSITF. We need to pay pension. All of that. So again, we're trying to move up the ladder.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I've touched on the core part. So you now get to the point where, all these transactions have happened. We need to record them on the accounting software, and as they're recorded on the accounting software, to make sure that everything is properly classified. You're properly, we're in January now. A lot of payments that will be made in this January were December invoices. And that means, based on the accrual principle, you need to recognize them in 2024 because they're 2024 expenses. So it means there are a lot of all these other accounts that people need to go and be doing many calculations
before the cutoff date.
To make sure that everything is, so it's not just as straight. I mean, like I said, as the company is a small company, or you on your own, you just have a small business, you registered with CAC. It's very straightforward. You are buying and selling, you have your profits, straight to the point. But bigger companies with more complicated transactions, when even now going to treasury, you are talking of, I'm financing the company, you have to take loan, you have to do fixed deposit, you have to do you are raising funds, you are doing all manner of this. All this accounting is there, because everything always, there's almost nothing you want to do that they will not ask you give me your audited financial statements.
Yes.
There's nothing you want to do. You want to get a license. You want to do this with these guys. You want to raise money. There's almost nothing you want to do as a business. You want to bid for contracts.
Yes.
They're asking you because they want to see your financial standing.
Yeah.
And so this is where, the work of the accountant is like very important. So like I said, all these transactions have happened. You've now posted them to the software. You make sure that they are every transaction is properly classified. And like I said, it's not so straightforward because there are different legs and different branches and so many things to consider, so many rules, IFRS and all of that, depending on the industry.
When you must remit your pay, if not, you're going to pay a fine, and you don't want your company to pay fine because you did not remit on time. So many things that have to come into play, and all this now even flows into like I said, the obvious pinnacle of every finance department is to have an audited financial statement. So your auditors come, that want to use another journey of interacting with them, because you've done all this work, but when they come, there's a lot verify.
So they are literally coming to verify that you are telling us that you made 100 million in revenue and you made 20 million in profit. So show us all the transactions and all the things that happened that took you from here to this position. And you have to show them, you have to prove your fixed asset, you have to, all of that to happen. So all the work everybody has been doing culminates into this audit activity. Now, that's just finance and accounting in itself. There's now the what I'll call financial planning and analysis part of things, where you're talking of creating forecasts, you're creating budget, for the company, because for the company to really set its goals, it needs to, number one, know where it's coming from. So that's where all the work that the accounting team has been doing comes to play, that we can pick up all these figures and we're confident that you're saying that we made 50 million. You're not going to come tomorrow and say, sorry, we made 45 or we made 60. You've done the actual work. And like I said, I always have a joke. I said that what I do in my job is to look for money that did not lose because it's like you need to be able to, package and present this data or these activities or transactions that have happened as they are. You need to tell a true story, because this true story affects so many things. This true story affects whether somebody will invest in me. This true story affects whether I'll be able to get a loan. This true story affects my valuation. This true story affects whether they will invest in me, or not.
Decision making, even within the company. Do we need to hire more people? Do we have the resources to hire
this
more
is what
people?
We did
Do we need to fire people? That's why on Wall Street you hear they are firing and this, because they are checking their books and they are saying, okay, if we have budgets and targets, we're not meeting it, because they are now analyzing OPEX is higher, we need to cut costs, and the easiest way to cut costs is like to lay off people and stuff like. But with nobody, you can't make a decision without your accounting, your books.
And if they don't know what they're doing, it means the figures will not be correct.
And you're going to make it correct.
You're flying blind.
Flying exactly a pilot without what they call it.
It's not, the pilot is compass. I don't know.
A traveler without compass.
Yes, let's just use it that way, so we don't say the wrong thing. But so I think that's even the account. I feel like that's a good summary of what, like I said, you most likely start off generalist, and you would maybe specialize as, some people might not specialize. I feel like at some point or the other, you might specialize, but then become generalist again as you maybe become a financial controller. Financial controller, your hand is everywhere. Or you might just go, you're doing tax, you might just go, you're doing treasury, that kind of thing. But then, obviously, as the business world has evolved, accounting as a profession is now getting to the point where it's now very important that we are not just, like I said, doing just doing all these transactions and reporting. Accounting is now trying to become a proper business partner to the business. So we're not just, like I said, doing all these transactions and just making sure that payments go out and everybody's fine and happy. But we're making sure that the work we're doing and the reports we're presenting, we're not really able to interpret it and partner with the business properly to achieve its set goal. Because every business, you say you're Microsoft, your goal is to make everybody happy with tech. Your Apple is to provide the best tech devices. But at the core of it all, the most important thing is to make your shareholders happy. Is to make the owners of the business happy. Is to make sure that there's money to pay salaries. Is to make generally your stakeholders happy. So at the core of it all, everybody's out to make money. So and that's where for someone like where I am in my career right now, my finance business partner role is not just doing this core accounting, but then it's now making sure that I'm partnering with like other departments of the company. That's, I mean, for me, because I work with just a specific part of the company because the company is really big, but making sure that I'm partnering with them that, you guys are doing all this work. As you're doing it, this is what is interpreting it into. This is how we can be better. These are the changes we could make. Generally, just as the name implies, really partnering with the business and, adding more value beyond, traditional accounting that, we're just doing.
So are you saying that in that role where you're partnering, let's give an example. I don't maybe the tech development role, right? Let's say, you mentioned Apple, and Apple is making devices and they're trying to, want to release the next phone that you can. I don't know. I can't think of any innovative thing right now, but yeah. AI phone, for example, you're trying to incorporate it. I mean, Apple, they said they were supposed to release it with the last version that they did, the AI stuff. You didn't follow that. Okay, you are not an iPhone, you're not an Apple person, but yeah. So let's say you're working with Apple, for example. How would you partner with your tech development team?
Okay, so financial planning and analysis, or let me just say FP&A as it is, the work starts from getting what accounting and has done, the reports that they've done, and now like building forecasts, building projections of it. They're not just building it, they're now being able to break it down into like actionable steps that, for us to get to these points that we want to do, these are the things we need to do. You guys probably need to reduce your product development time from 3 months to 2 months, so we can launch faster and go to market faster and make money faster. Or maybe instead of launching every year, let's launch every 2 years. So in launching every 2 years, it means we're probably not rushing to develop more. We might save more money on development because there's a longer timeline. So it's just you literally start from like all these forecasts, you build out your models and all of that, but then you're now making sure you're interpreting it into like actionable steps that you can now recommend to like the different departments in the business, and the business can now use that to make a decision that, okay, this is the path we're going to take, this is how we're going to go about it. Or it can be a thing of the company has set a goal that this is what we want to do. You guys are now going and say, okay, based on what you want to do, if you want to get here, this is how you go about it. We need to keep these costs at this level. We need to make this amount of money. We need to introduce this. We need to hire more people. So yeah, I think
this is the point at this level break even if you like launch it and all.
Yes.
So that's in your role, you build models.
Yes, I do.
That's the lot. It's the lie, because I like how like we're no longer I say we how accountants are no longer, what started this whole story was people have the idea that accountants are just sitting back there somewhere, like just sitting in one corner, but you're not just dealing with, like, you're also partnering with them for the future as well. So play a very critical role.
Yes. And again, just to touch on the part where I mentioned that there's almost nothing you want to do as a company that your finance department will not be involved in. Okay, you want to raise funds, there are so many to bring funding requirements, so many documents required. Is legal, compliance, accounting, everybody is coming together to provide all these requirements. You want to apply for one license with CBN or with these guys or with these guys. It's most likely there's almost nothing you want to do. You're not working with the finance guys,
your finance team,
to get it done. So
I like to say that accounting is like, how they say communication is like the lifeline of a relationship, or anything. Accounting is the lifeline of the company.
Yes.
Like literally, it's the blood flowing through the veins of the company.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope you're motivated to pursue a career. Only 1 year is already, I mean, it sounds interesting. Right. Okay. I feel like we've already touched on like different functions that you could work in, right?
Yes.
So I wanted to say, what are the growth prospects for an accountant? So I mean, like, growth opportunities. Yes, you had alluded that you can be a financial controller, but if you're starting, let's say, as an associate, like, what are the steps, and then what are the roles? Maybe CFO, or if you're like working in an industry somewhere, like just different possibilities for an accountant.
Yeah. I think starting obviously is fresh out of school. You studied accounting or you studied another course, but you somehow just find yourself in an accounting role. Um, Depending on the kind of company you go into at the start, so that determines a lot of things. So somebody that starts at a small, mid-sized company, you like me, you get to play like generalist roles where you do everything, and but as you now grow, even in that company, they'll be promoting you. You're probably still doing the same type of work. You now become a manager. You have people under you that you're able to delegate your work to. But because of the size of the company, because it's very small, you might still find yourself doing the same things, even if you are growing in terms of like your salary, you're growing in terms of like your role. Okay, this year you're an associate, now you're a senior associate, that kind of thing. So I feel like the paths vary depending on the opportunities
that is
presented to you. So it's possible, me now, I'm a finance business partner, but I could go to a smaller company and be a finance manager there because the experience I have is enough for me to be a finance manager in that smaller company.
Yes.
But might not be enough for me to be a finance manager where I am right now.
Yeah.
So you are literally able to, I mean, you need to be able to make the best of what you have. So you are in a company, because you literally meet some people, especially like our parent generation. I think we are the ones that move around a lot.
Yeah.
Our parent generation, you're in a company for 10 years, 15 years. There's only so much growth you can grow. There's only one person that can be CEO, only one person can be CFO, that kind of thing. So for them is career stability that is important thing. Okay, maybe it's a company that pays, some companies they give like really huge bonuses at the end of the year, or you have some benefits that you're enjoying in that company, and you're just like, okay, I'm fine based on your life goals and where you see yourself. You are able to, I'm fine here, I'm comfortable here. I see this company as a company I can build it. Now, even now bringing it to where we are today, where there are companies that give stock options, especially with like as tech companies have grown and all of that. So you're like, okay, as much as I might not be, even if they promote me, it might just be promotion in terms of name, in terms of salary, but I'm not really growing in terms of like leadership because of where the company is. But because I have stock options, I choose to stay. So again, it's a thing of making the best of what you want. I mean, for some people are clear from the outset, I want to be CFO. So that can take different aspects. It means maybe you're staying in one company and and you're growing to be CFO. I mean, I feel like in bigger companies is usually more straightforward. You can tell the growth prospect. I'm an analyst today, tomorrow I'll be an associate, the next thing I'm a manager, the next thing I'm CFO. Or for some people is you move around, and as you're moving around, you're jumping up the ladder, and before you know it, you get to the point where you are CEO or CFO or whatever. I mean, it doesn't even have to CFO. It can be CEO. It can be other senior positions that you might want to go for. I mean, I probably maybe because I don't have that much experience, but there are some people, okay, you branch out, you want to be a consultant, you want to do accounting for,
like
you want
to go to Big Four.
But no, what I even mean is you want to do accounting for different businesses. So you want to work,
like you want to be your, and people will be consulting,
you consult, contracting. Yeah, so there are literally different parts, and I feel like people should just always be, open-minded, to be open-minded, look out for opportunities. Always, I feel like I always tell people that one thing I'm constantly doing, whether or not I'm looking for job roles or not, is that I'm always looking at job opportunities, especially the ones that are in my career line. I just always read job descriptions, and I feel like I would just always put myself that, okay, if I were to apply for this role, do I think I qualify? Okay, I don't qualify. What do I think would make me qualify? I can see them asking for advanced degree. I don't have an advanced degree. I can see them asking for these skills. I don't have these skills. I probably need to go and get it. That's something I've always done, and I feel like it always helps me because I always have an idea of what's really happening in the market, what's going on, whether or not I'm actively job searching or that kind of. So I always advise people to just look at the roles, whether you're applying or not. Just use that to keep yourself, in touch with
Yeah.
what's happening in the market.
And
Sometimes some
help
people even tell you apply even if you don't want it. Use it to test,
to assess how
yes, whether you are just a local champion, you're just comfortable where you are. So go out and actually, see what your worth is in the market. Some people will apply for roles, get it, and use that to negotiate for a bigger salary. But I don't. That's not my area of specialty. I don't know how to do that.
Yes.
But the world is literally your oyster. To be honest, I feel like people should not limit themselves. Again, just be open to opportunities as they come up. And check for, again, what's happening. Like now, one thing that I'm having to find out as as an accountant, like, okay, it's not just sufficient for you to go and do your ICANN and have your degree and all of that. And even before, aside advanced degrees, but I'm finding out that there are actual nitty-gritty skills that we need to pick up.
I was going to ask you, let's talk about the skills.
Yeah, one of them is data analysis. Because, and it's like, you're having to now learn SQL, Python, because you are having to deal with like a lot of data that Excel is going to crash on you. So you're having to work directly from the database. And how do you do that? You need SQL, you need Python, you need all these skills. So it's now getting beyond just, I know IFRS, I know debit and credit. I'm able to prepare and present reports. But then I have all, because you're not just learning those skills to say, I'm a better accountant. It's to actually help you do your work faster, to help you improve. So, I mean, before now, everybody was just, Excel is the most important thing anybody can learn in their career, no matter the job you're doing. I don't think that there's any work you're doing that you're not interacting with Excel/Google Sheets in some way or the other. And obviously, those ones, they keep advancing every other year. So it's to keep in touch. I don't think you can, they're literally Excel World Championships that they do, Excel World Cup. So there's always something more to learn, if we're being honest. So there's that part. Obviously, as an accountant or as a finance person, or generally any person, any young professional in 2025, you should know, Excel to the best, to the deepest you can go. Keep learning, because you won't find that, something you were struggling to do it, because you've learned this formula or you've learned this trick, you're not able to do it faster. So it just makes you more efficient. Then, like I said, for accountants, as finance people, data analytics, SQL, especially for people that are working in like large companies, you have to deal with like a lot of data, and Python, and financial modeling. I feel like when you're learning Excel, you're obviously going to learn financial modeling, especially as a finance professional. So there's that, learning financial modeling. Again, to the highest level that you can take yourself to is something that you just keep learning and just keep improving upon as the year goes on. And it's very nice because as you're learning it, you're already applying it in your job. So it's not going to waste. It's going to just be, easy for you. Then there's also like the business intelligence tools like Power BI to help with reporting and all of that. Yeah, the other ones, but I think Power BI is the most common one, or the one that's closer to finance professionals, because it's already with Microsoft and all of that. So you're just doing everything together. So
software, accounting software.
I feel like for accounting software, to be honest, is whatever your company is using, and once you already use one, once you've used one, you kind of already know what needs to be done. You need to post. So depending on the software you use, you will learn, okay, how am I posting? How does this work on this software? How does that work on this software? And I feel like it's just like the way we are in this day and age where different tech tools are coming up every other day. I mean, TikTok wasn't so much of a big deal before 2020, but 2020 came and everybody had to learn how to use TikTok. Same thing so the same way all these things come up and you start using them, you get it's the same way. Yes, some might be more specialists than others. Like the I'm trying to the name scheme. I think something like a NetSuite might be more complicated, and maybe before the company start using it, they will have to go through specialist training. So maybe somebody like because you've used NetSuite where you are, if you want to hire for another job, it might now stand you out more than somebody that hasn't used it before, because okay, this guy is going to come and he's just going to hit the ground running. We don't need to train him. But I don't see any I'm going to go and learn Sage. It's just like I'm just like, especially if you're not using it, because most of the time is when you learn it and you're using it, even as you're using it, you learn it and you get better.
Exactly, learn it on the job and use it.
Yes, and at the core of it all is everybody uses Excel at the end of the day, because you post to the software, you export everything to Excel and do your analysis on it. So that's it. They're literally different analysis softwares coming up every other day. I'm even trying to remember the one I was using at the company I was before, and the name skips my mind. But so many they come up every other day. So as they come up, you pick up the skills, watch 1 or 2 videos, and experiment, play around with it, and you'll be good. Just have an open mind, be open to learning, and that's it.
What are the accounting hours like? Everybody,
oh my God!
I'm still yet to hear like the one that people like. We don't work. We don't do.
The work never ends, and there are peak periods. Obviously, month end, beginning of the month, because you need to get your reports out. You have deadlines, or you're doing your audit. You need to finish your audit within 5-6 weeks. Obviously, you work as much as you need to work within that period. So, again, I think it's a thing of where you find yourself in. Some companies you might find the workload less than some other companies. So the hours are they're lots.
On average, like how many hours a day in like when it's not peak period and when it's peak period?
I feel like you're working all the hours that you're supposed to work, which is your 9 to 5.
Because
so it's now
something to do.
There's always something. There's never something to. There's never not something to do. Rather, so it's now you that okay. Am I putting in extra hours? Am I able to put in extra hours? Oh, I need to get this done. So okay, I probably need to work during the weekend. There are people that just they're workaholics and they are working 24/7 weekend. This thing they're able to get it. With some other people, you at the end of the day, everybody just aims to meet their KPI. So if you need to put in extra hours to meet your KPI, you probably need to because it's going to affect your performance and all of that. So it's you work, you work there. I mean, I except like a very small even small companies, the work will still be a lot. I find it. I don't think I've met any accountant that is not doing a lot of work because you're the one in charge of payment. They're calling you. This payment needs to go. That payment needs to go. This one needs to happen. Or even as little as receivables. Okay, we just close this contract. We need to send invoice immediately. We need this document. This one needs to go out immediately. So. Yeah, the hours are long. That would be very honest. The hours are long. Yes.
But would you say, Karim? Okay, let me just ask you the question. Do you love your career? Do you think it's rewarding? And where do you see yourself making an impact like in the next 30 years?
30 years is a long time.
I know.
I don't even think past a year. I'm serious.
In the vision of your life, like
but I get. I mean, in all honesty, I think career fulfillment plays to your personal goals, your innate.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you.
Yes. So for me, it ebbs and it flows in the sense that there were points where I felt like, so you're just telling me I'm just going to be here doing payments in front of Excel sheets, and there were points where I felt disconnected from what the company is doing. I'm just like, especially because I've worked with tech companies throughout my career. So I'm just like, I'm not like, I started to feel like, all them engineers are the ones doing the big things, building all manner. I mean, I'm just here doing petty cash, doing bank transfer, doing payroll. Like I felt disconnected and all of that. And I'll start to feel some sort of way. And then sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, we did this. Like this would not have happened without us, without my work. Yeah. So like I said, it ebbs and it flows. I feel like now, obviously, as I've matured and I'm at the point where I am, I've not had that struggle in a long time. Maybe it was at the early stage where I was still trying to find my feet. Yeah. But now I'm just like, okay. I mean, I know that if I don't do this thing, things are going to break.
Things fall apart.
So personally, because like number one, I said it, I knew I wanted to be an accountant. It was just straightforward for me. And, I got into it and I've been doing it and, I'm very well satisfied. I mean, sometimes I feel like, okay, maybe you should be doing more. Should you have been? Sometimes I beat myself up that, maybe you did not put yourself out too much. Maybe you should have not been so comfortable. Should you have entered? So it comes up maybe, and this is just me when I'm reflecting on my life.
Once to everybody.
But at the core of it, I'm just like, okay, I don't think I've done too bad.
Yeah.
Thankfully, you know, I've worked with companies doing great work.
Yeah.
And I know my work has contributed to their overall Akin success.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that. I'm happy that I go out and I see the products my company offers on the road, and I'm, you know, I feel connected to that. Oh, it's my work.
Yeah.
Like somehow is contributing to the fact that you can hold that, you know, product in your hand. And yeah, I'll say I'm contented. I'm satisfied. I mean, thankfully, I've always also had like corresponding good income. I mean, obviously, if you want, I'm not earning $1 million, but at every point in my life, I'll be in my career. I've seen, and I've also seen steady growth. So it's something to be, you know, happy and proud of. So I'll say personally, I'm satisfied. I'm contented. I'm proud of myself sometimes. Yes. Sometimes I beat myself up that, oh, maybe you should have done better. But
what of next 30 years?
Next 30 years.
Just like, what do you see for yourself in next 30 years?
Next 30 years.
Career-wise.
Career-wise, it's the way obviously, like I said, if you remember when I said at the beginning, when I touched on how I was doing business and I was leaning towards entrepreneurship, but as I obviously matured, I realized that, it's not necessarily that I need to go and start something. I can be part of something. So even now, as I plan my career, it's still an open, it's still like open whether, tomorrow I could find something that I'm so interested or I'm so passionate about and decide to go and do something. Or somebody else has something that they are doing and it's so good and they bring me on board. I mean, I have friends that joke with me every other day, when are you starting your startup? And I look at them, I'm just like, please leave me alone. But if that opportunity comes, it's something I can take. If it's that the opportunities that keep coming, because remember I said, for me, it's just been the opportunities come, and when they come, I look at them, I assess them. Some will come when I'm ready to go, when I'm ready to move, you know, they just come at the nick of time when I'm just like, okay, yes, I think I'm ready to make a change, and I make a change. Because I mean, there are other offers that might come. Somebody reached out on LinkedIn, I'm just like blatant no. I refer them to somebody, and that one closes out. But these ones were the ones that came at the point where I was like, okay, I'm ready to move, or they came and they were attractive enough that even if I wasn't ready to move, I changed my mind, you know, and I moved. So as the opportunities come, I assess them. If it means, I grow and I end up going to be a CFO or a CEO, let it be. If it means that, you know, the opportunity that now comes, I start something on my own. But I feel like for me, at the core of it all, is just that overarching. I always say that at the core of it all, one thing, what is important to me is that I help a business or businesses to grow. Because I literally, I feel like, because I've seen the impacts that actually has that, a company that was literally hiring 5 people before, but because the company has grown, the company is hiring 10 people, then that initial 5 people before, they were earning, you know, 100,000, but now they're able to earn 500,000, and I see that what that 500,000 has done in their life, like they're able to improve their standard of living. I'm just like, okay, it just makes sense that this is literally, if you really, really want to impact lives, like this is a direct way to this is like the easiest way to impact. Like, okay, you build a company that is hiring 1,000 people, and you know that there are 1,000 families, you know, spread across Nigeria that are able to put food on their table because you took the risk that, there's this idea I have and I want to nurture it and I want to put my all into it, and I've grown this idea into this big company. I think that's just the way I think about it. So whatever opportunities that present themselves that I'm able to, you know, contribute to that kind of goal, I'm fine with it. So next 30 years, I think this is something, I don't think it will ever change. The overarching goal is, you know, just help businesses grow. Help businesses grow. And, you know, any way I get to do that, whether I'm at the top, I'm in the middle, I'm at the side, or I'm a consultant. I'm outside as a consultant, or, you know, any, you know, any way it goes.
I mean, it has been so insightful. We're going to, we've run out of time already, but so you're just going to answer yes or no.
Okay.
Are accountants getting scarce?
Yes.
Stephanie, we'll discuss it on another platform on another day.
I mean, I know you said I should not give out context, but maybe not in Nigeria. I should probably put that.
Let's qualify it. Okay, not Nigeria.
Maybe not. I don't. I'll say I don't know about Nigeria.
Okay. Okay.
But most of the ones I've been seeing is actually outside. I won't be more specific, maybe the US.
Okay.
Because a lot of the news, obviously, they're the ones that news is everywhere.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing a lot of stuff of how, and I think when they even say accountants getting scarce, is more people that are studying accounting as a course and now going to do like CPA and work as an actual accountant in the company.
Yeah.
Apparently we are getting scarce because people are just interested in other stuff. So I think it's just a unique peculiarity in that market. And I mean, funny enough, when I read stuff like that, I just see it as an opportunity. I'm just like, okay, they should come and hire us from Nigeria. They should come and hire Nigeria. Yes, we do. I think the only problem with that is that their system is a bit different because they use GAAP and we use IFRS. I'm just like, at the end of the account, is it debit and credits? Last you go do 1 month training and the person is good to go. You can literally go anywhere and still adapt. So not to maybe this is for somebody, this is your cue to go and start applying for foreign roles and putting yourself out there. Maybe you will need to pick up a skill or two, but try it and never hurts to try. I mean, it was they will say no, and they say no, you go back to your life and you try again the next day.
Thank you so much, Onize.
It
has been an impactful session. Thank you to our audience. I hope that this has impacted you in more ways than we think. And just to round up things that I'm leaving from this session is that your tweets can be important, it can land you your job. Your LinkedIn is important as well. And then pursue skills that will help you be a better person, a better employee, and all of that. And thank you for tuning in, and see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.